Welcome to Sundance 2025, everyone. I'm Christian Blauvelt, the digital director of IndieWire. I'm so excited to be talking about Atropia today. We've got Callum Turner, director Hailey Gates, and Alia Shawkat. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being here. So, I have to say, this is one of these movies where it's about a concept that I don't even think a lot of the people watching this will have known about this in advance. But this is a real thing. Like these fake villages or towns that are created by the US military to basically train soldiers or any service personnel into what it would be like to be deployed overseas and dealing with culture clashes and all, any unexpected contingencies that should pop up.
Yeah.
How did you become aware of this, and when did you recognize that this was fodder for a movie?
A recipe for comedy.
Yes.
I tried to make a documentary about it first. So I did a lot of research and visited a bunch of the bases and was sort of working my way up the DoD, and they weren't totally interested in my documentary, and so I thought it was a subject that was ripe for satire, and we went forth.
Well, turning it into a romantic comedy, it's a very unexpected twist. And how did you realize the comedic potential?
Well, I think America's sort of misunderstanding of people they're invading is inherently comedic. And I was really inspired by MASH and the Lubitsch film To Be or Not to Be. Have you ever seen that?
Yes, I have. It's one of my favorites.
And it's also a story of actors, right?
Sure.
Because there's a big Hamlet for you Shakespeare heads.
IndieWire's
storyline there. Yeah. And so I love movies like that where the tone turns on a dime. And I thought that this, could be my humble offering to that canon.
Very interesting. So Callum, tell us about your character. How does he enter the picture? What's his background? What's going on?
I play Dice, who's done 2 tours in Iraq and enjoys the buzz. He can kind of only exist on the run and living off the adrenaline of war. And he finds himself in this facility as a way of getting back out to Iraq. And that's where he meets Fairuz, and they sort of ignite something inside of each other. And I've fallen in love. I have a romance that can only exist in this one period of time.
And so, Alia, your character is an actress working in one of these villages.
Yes.
And what is she hoping to achieve by working with the military in this way?
Stardom,
Hollywood,
ultimate success, to be in a movie. I think Fairuz is a talent, in my opinion, but as we all do, we kind of set these limitations on ourselves without knowing, thinking that we're striving for something. And she's in this place that she's kind of like a big fish in this small pond and feels really kind of held and gets power off of telling people how we got to do it better and convincing people. But also she's probably really scared of what it would mean to actually try to be an actress. So she's kind of stuck in between that place of wanting to be seen, but scared what that means.
Alia and I are really obsessed with the very small difference between acting in a movie. When people start acting.
Sure.
And it's so small or can be very big. Yeah. But it's one of our favorite
acting in a movie. Fake acting.
Whatever.
Facting.
Meta. But
You're acting, and then suddenly you're acting that you're acting.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, super interesting.
And you can decide whether she's a good actress or not. Yeah. I mean, that's the fun part.
I don't want to hear it, but you can decide.
Well, and I mean, it's hard to see in a way the path from working with the military in one of these, fake towns to achieving Hollywood stardom. And yet, in LA and Southern California, there's so many military bases all around. Exactly. I mean, I think the idea of the, military industrial entertainment complex, I mean, it's very real.
Totally real. Yeah. And so many people from the military end up working on Hollywood films.
As advisors.
And second unit and stunts and yeah.
I mean, Callum, last year you were in Masters of the Air. I was a huge fan. And, you know, playing a bomber pilot in World War II, you know, and all the stresses that went along with that. Now you're playing, you know, a character who's a soldier, you know, has been deployed to Iraq, you know, but is obviously being framed here in a very different context. Did you see some sort of like that these two roles were kind of bouncing off each other? Like one is sort of a meta commentary on the other?
Maybe, but not really. No, they're two completely different human beings. One was sort of forced into a situation, and then the other has joined the army by choice and thrives in the army. I think Dice is an incredible soldier. I think Bucky is someone that had to do what he had to do. They're two completely different archetypes.
Very interesting.
But yes, I do play a lot of soldiers.
A lot of them.
Yeah,
American.
People look at Cal, they go, American
Soldier.
Army man.
I'm actually playing a ballerina in my next film. Just to mix
But
it.
who's also in the army,
Yeah.
playing for the troops.
I can't get out.
There's a small scene in Las Vegas in the movie, and when we were there, Callum was like in full fatigues.
Yes.
And
God.
Forgot about that.
remember that? And I was like,
good
it
for
was so humiliating because people kept coming up to Callum and saying thank you for your service.
service. And I felt awful.
And I was like, you slip up on your accent today.
And then I was pregnant with the hijab, and we were getting married, and people were very
It's a
confused.
complex situation.
Yeah.
How do you think, Callum, your character had been shaped by his experiences in Iraq? Like, how had this affected him, maybe damaged him? Like, where is he? Where's his headspace?
Whereas he mentally, he's unable to survive in the real world. He's been conditioned by war and the army, and is desperate to go back. He really can't face the real world. He has a kid and a wife that he's neglecting because he needs that adrenaline and that buzz back out in the field. And there's a real tragedy to him, I think. And meeting Alia's character helps him understand a light inside of him that he didn't know he had.
I mean,
The acting bug.
Which is what makes us all feel like living, really.
well, it's a thing, you know, in mentioning To Be or Not to Be. So in that film, Jack Benny is an actor on the stage. He's in Hamlet. He's a bad actor. And so the idea is, can he be good enough to portray this like Polish resistance figure so that he can fight against the Nazis in his own way?
Which
So
he kind of pulls off.
he does pull off over. I mean, spoilers for this, you know, 83-year-old movie.
It's not a new release.
Exactly.
Pause this video right now.
I know. But like capturing that dynamic, I mean, talking about the meta acting, like, did you guys like try to inject those notes of like, oh, like, you know, this is an actor acting as this character, and like they're not really succeeding here at times, or they are succeeding? How did you find that balance? Like,
Yeah, you're all looking at me.
Yep, really.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we made a short film first, which I think it's the world, it's the character, but you know, Atropia is like the next level. But it was our, you know, it's called Shakamako, and we established the world very much, and I think that tone of like, what is good acting? How good is Fairuz? Is she good? And then when she's just being herself, is she still kind of acting in a way, like her performance of being herself in this place? So there's kind of like three like levels of it. But I mean, not to like belittle my own work, but I just don't think, I wasn't so like, okay, now I'm acting now, and this acting, it's like, it's almost as like she just like pushes the performance a little too much to sell it. And that in itself, to some people, you know, I remember my mom saw Shakumaku and she was like, told me, she was like, oh no, Alia can't act. She got like really nervous. And I was like, okay, Mom, so what? What if I don't? I can't, it's okay. But she saw me doing this fake acting and she was like, that's terrible, what is she doing? And then she realized that was like part of the character. So it's kind of good if you're kind of in it. That's the whole point. It can't be too much where it seems too hammy, you know? Anyways.
She's on a lot.
Yeah, always on.
Yeah.
well, I mean, Hailey, you are an actor yourself. So, I mean, you were obviously very attuned to, you know, the nuances of the performances here. And, you know, it's just been announced that you're going to be in Christopher Borgley's new drama with A24, right? Is there anything you can say there?
We shot it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very dramatic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't act very often, but I like doing it because I find it really humiliating and scary. and embarrassing, and I like knowing what I'm asking other people to do, and I find it very sadomasochistic, and it brings a lot of joy and pain to my life. But I love small parts in movies, and so on this movie in particular, like I just wanted to make sure that all of the roles, all the small roles are as good as the big ones.
No small roles, just small actors.
Yeah. So there's like a crazy, amazing ensemble cast of like non-actors and actors.
Yeah,
that
there's
all
still
have,
scenes, they really,
yeah.
like Gil with the
Yeah.
California,
Gil's
Yeah.
amazing.
the iPod.
Alia's father is in the movie.
Yes, he is.
Oh.
He plays the mayor.
Yeah.
He gives a
He's a good actor.
fucking incredible,
Really good actor.
incredible performance. You laughed. And yeah, it's so fun
Are you
because like
gonna bleep that?
No, of course. This is IndieWire.
You should bleep
We-
it.
Online.
No,
it
yeah,
can be like
IndieWire's edgy. We're not gonna. We
Edgy.
don't
You
believe.
guys don't give a fuck.
No, we do not. There you go. We're not going to
Bleep
bleep that.
that, come
either.
on.
No,
Bleep me.
not at all.
Bleep me.
Not at all.
I've always wanted to be bleeped.
Really?
You're not gonna bleep
It's,
me?
it's
I'll bleep
not,
you,
it's
yeah.
not
You're gonna bleep me?
I mean,
Try
if you
it.
really
Say
want
what's
us to
the-
bleep you, we could.
I don't give a
but
fuck.
if you really want us,
No, I think that's quite cool to be bleeped. Yeah.
that's so funny. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for
You're
joining
the
us.
best.
today.
Oh my God.
Oh.